Excuse me just a minute. Two of them ringing. Number 1 cab. Yes, sir. Can you hold on just a moment, please? Number 1. He is here. He's busy. If you want to hold on a minute, it might be a few seconds here. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry. Okay, so where are you at? You need a cab? Sure. Where are you at? You're at the Greyhound. Are you there right now? I'll give you a call when the cab is outside, okay? Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Well, my mom used to drive cab at Yellow. At the time, I was living in the Quad Cities with some friends, and came back down to Iowa City, and she was driving cab, so I started driving cab for Yellow when I was 21.
I started driving a cab at 21 also, and I started driving for Old Capitol Cab. I pretty much immediately moved into managing the company, doing scheduling, managing drivers, handling the dispatchers, and helping out the ownership.
I moved out here from Chicago in the year 2006 with my wife and 2 sons. And I, through misfortune, which turned out to be good fortune, retired early. And I took a year off, and I was looking for something to do, and I saw an ad in the paper, drive a taxi. And I thought, well, what the heck, I'll give it a try. So I went and interviewed, and the guy hired me, and 2 days a week I was working. I observed society through the windshield of my car all day, and I loved it. I like the interaction with people. You know, I love to talk to people. Most customers you find want to talk. You know, they want to interact, and you kind of find a common ground. Then I like to find out where people are from, because I meet so many people from all over the world. It's a pretty neat thing. I mean, I met people from countries I never thought I'd ever meet people from, you know, and talk to anybody about anything. If they want to ask how my day's going, I said, you want the truth or you want the real? And they want me to lie. And they said, give me the truth. I said, so having a great day. Any day you're alive is a good day.
Sociologically, like, there's a script that people want to talk about, you know, that they expect out of a cab driver, and you know, it doesn't always follow the same exact pattern, but you know, how's the weather? Are the roads bad? Are you guys busy? Oh, what do? You tend to want to have a conversation with you. And the thing is, as a cab driver, is that you've heard that so many times, but yet this person who's coming into your cab has no concept of that perspective. And so they don't understand that they're doing anything but being cordial, since they don't quite understand the dynamics of the cab role and what's going on. And I've seen it so many times, I'll oftentimes just begin asking them questions, which takes the heat off of me. Let's talk about something, I don't know, that means something.
Well, I grew up in Davenport, which is filled with bad neighborhoods. So the bad neighborhoods here in Iowa City, I guess I recognize that the city recognizes that they're bad, but they don't
I don't really like
me.
the word bad, because that's a lot of judgment for a neighborhood that's filled with problems and difficulties and poor socioeconomic status. And you know, I judge my passengers on how they treat me, and sort of a vibe that you get off of them too. And it really doesn't matter what location they're going to. You know, I've had a friend held up at gunpoint in what would be close to one of the neighborhoods that's considered not so savory in Iowa City.
There's some drivers that won't go to those neighborhoods, but I think we don't.
You can't just judge. You can't judge a person like that. You can't judge a person like that because of the housing structure that they live in. How do I protect myself from being walked all over, though? I have a pretty big attitude. You know, but sometimes in those sorts of situations where you have somebody that is potentially volatile, your best bet is to chill out and to help them de-escalate.
I try to take control of the situation where it's like I'm the one behind the wheel, like I might start driving a little more erratic.
As a woman cab driver, and I think a young woman cab driver, I really struggled with a lot of issues in this town. Like every single weekend, you know, people would say just the meanest things or do the meanest things. I mean, you're out there and you're you know, trying to get a bunch of drunken frat boys from one place to another, and I don't mean to pick on frat boys, but you know, people going to a hotel after they've been partying, and they think they're being funny, when really what they're doing is hurting another human being by rudeness. And I ended up crying a lot that year. I had a friend once tell me I'd made an art form of cab driving, because there's a certain rhythm that you can get into with the lights, with, you know, your passengers, with the particular car that you're driving, whatever it is, and the music that you're listening to, that just flows very smoothly.
I know a couple female cab drivers who listen to this mystical music or whatever. And most of the time I have sports talk on my radio. And, you know, I'll turn it down when people get in the car when we're conversing, because I think it gets in the way. And, you know, or if somebody says it's a good song, I can turn it up, you know, if I'm listening to music. But I don't particularly listen to certain music. Gordon Ramsay, because I admire the guy. I love the guy. He's from the streets in England, and he kind of grew up the way I did, you know, and I'm a recovering alcoholic of 27 years. I've had that question asked to me before, and I said it would be Gordon Ramsay. I said he might be the only person I would think about having a drink with.
Maybe my mom. You know, someone that's a family member. I mean, Trish I get rides to all the time, regardless.
Yeah, it'd be nice. I suppose it'd be nice to hold my mom in my cab, because then it means that she'd be coming to visit, or Ben's mom has passed away, you know. So, of course, you know, just like anybody, we miss our families. You know, there are nights when what you take home is way less than minimum wage, and then there are days when I've taken home $50 an hour. Maybe typical would be $10 to $15 an hour, including tips. And I have to have good tips to be able to pay my bills. It's just the truth of it.
Yeah.
If the tips suck, then, you know, my daughter's not getting the pair of sweatpants she wants. You know, I personally, I graduated from the University of Iowa with my bachelor's degree. I'm not satisfied with that. $10 to $15 an hour feels, and it is barely above, if it is above the poverty level. I always tried to have the philosophy of my cab company be really about, sort of the slogan was, we're taking you where you want to go. And I thought that that was what we were doing for our cab drivers too, because it really should just be a stepping stone. I'm pursuing right now, applying for the School of Social Work for my master's degree, and I'm taking a class, and we'll be taking a class in the fall. And Ben works so many hours driving a cab that...
I mean, sometimes during the summer, I'll pick up a second job. Just depends. You know, I'd like to get out of cab driving eventually.
You know, there is no future in cab driving.